Good morning, all. How are you doing? Hey, Ors. Isn't this like... What time is this? It must be like 3 in the morning for you, if not a little bit later. Careful about the hypotenuse. You should just make the full-on bunker forest that people can't charge/C into. Like, yeah. I don't want to make one that's thin enough that other units can't enter. That feels particularly bullshit, so I shan't be doing that. But, I am aware of it. You have told me about the under 1 inch thick wood. It's 5 a.m. 5 a.m. Waking up in the morning in Somania. I've got some great advice for you. Have you considered just like going to sleep? Pretty sure that's how that works. Woo. Alrighty then. Gonna be building a wood. Looking forward to this. I've been a little bit lost in terms of what I want to do, and now that I've got a project to work on, I am looking forward to it. Morning, Kev. How you doing? Never considered going to sleep, and you'll continue never considering it. That is super reasonable. This is... I'll be honest, I'd forgotten that they did trees, scenery-wise, so I was thinking about options for how I was going to make this, and yeah, then I went to my local Warhammer World, my local Warhammer World, the only one, to return a model, and I was like, oh yeah, this is a thing that I can do. So that's good stuff there. I am doing well, Kev. Yeah, no, it's going all right this morning. Took me longer than I thought it might do to set up the stream area, because getting this camera sorted was a little bit of a bugger, but we are all fine now. Got wood. Indeed. I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking at the bits that these go on. Yeah, and everything else is just branches. So this is the entirety of the structural sprue. This isn't super long. Okay, actually, I missed this bit. Huh. I think there might be a need for a base that this is being built on. So, let me just peek behind. Alright, hopefully this doesn't catch on anything and mess up my stream area. Sweet. Bit of cardboard. That can be the base. And then measurements. Oh, this isn't long enough. You know what? Let's use this that it came with. This feels like a good good duty what's it. So the important thing we're looking for. Hey, morning. Mechanites here. Good to see you. Existence here. Good morning as well. Hams fan. Not sure about this kit myself. I can take it or leave it. Very good. Very good. We are pun enjoyers here. I'm going to mute the mic for a second and just open this up. That was less loud than I thought it was going to be anyway, but yeah, I reckon. In fact, let me just tear off some strips. Cool. Definitely don't want to tear anything else off. For the love of God, pick up some MDF at worst foam board. Liam. That's a good idea that would have required more forward thinking. I picked up this wood yesterday and I don't have any of those. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on here, and then if needs be I will put it on a thicker layer of something. but I don't really want it to be particularly high, because I'll probably end up balancing models on it, so having it quite low to the ground is ideal. I've got some basing materials that I'll put on it, so it's not just going to be on plain card. But what we're doing is, we don't need to be 12 inches long. What we need to be is about 10.5 inches long, because we're going to be about 5 inches deep, and I'm going to make them in 2 separate pieces. So what we want is a ruler. Oh, here we go. This came with the cutting board. So if we start off here, let's just start at 5 as my marker. And how far do I want to go? I'm going 10.5 inches. Oh God, inches to centimeters. I'm going to convert it because I know it's 2.5, but it's 2.56. So I just want to make sure that I've got it exactly. So if I'm going 5 inches, I got 10.91. 10.91 inches. Meters. Let's have a look at what that converts to. 27.7. Okay, so I need to start at 2. I want to go to 29.7. This is a long ass wood, you know. So basically, this is the length that I need to go to, and I want to make sure that it's never more than an inch wide. It has to be under 30 centimeters. It can spike over that, but I don't want it to be significantly over that. Be mindful it'll warp up on pure cardboard. Morning, Camille. Could even have been a whole 12 hours. Yes, it has, Entropy. Yeah, the Wednesday stream, it does feel a bit weird, I'm not going to lie. I kind of turn it off and then immediately I'm back, which is fine, but it's also... We'll see. We'll see. We're giving it a trial run. That's all we're doing. That's all we're doing. So we're just going to... Oh, you know what I haven't got? Scissors, though. We're going to hack out this piece, which I'm now looking at and realizing I haven't. We don't need to be super precise. Just want to... This. I genuinely don't think I own any scissors, so you gotta watch me fuck around with... What am I doing? I think we're going to try and score this with a knife and use some clippers to... I've got some nice clippers, but I'm not using for this project. For you, it's the same day. You woke up to me and now it's 8:30. Yeah, that is how time works, I guess. Okay. I don't want to speak too soon, but this whole scoring business is going exceptionally well. That was exactly where I wanted that cut to go. Oh, like he's done it before. Will Ed be worse at get to work or basic cutting? So far, I'm doing pretty okay at basic cutting. Don't want to overreact. I think I might have found my calling, which is dragging a knife in a straight line along a guideline that I've drawn. I don't know that I've ever done this before, and yet here I am, a goddamn natural. There we go. Ed's an engineer. I am not an engineer. However, I definitely, when I've talked to friends who are engineers, my brain definitely syncs up. I get the, not necessarily the knowledge, but like the way of thinking. Makes a lot of sense to me. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Is this like defacing currency? Am I gonna end up in jail because I've cut up Games Workshop cardboard? Is that, you know, the same thing? Yes, Kev says, I worry for your thumb. Let's see if you can see it. Yeah, my thumb is bloody as all hell because I've been cleaning mold lines off. Hey, morning Toad, how you doing today? You here to watch me cut up some cardboard? Steven says ruler. Rulers, wow, we don't need those where we're going. We may well need. That's a problem for future me. Unbelievable. Look at that. Look at that. So easy. So easy. And then we'll do the other one while we're here, instead of forgetting using all of the terrain and then regretting my life choice. That's a suspiciously clean cutting board. This is a new one. I specifically bought a new one. I've kind of alluded to it. I don't know if I've talked about it fully, but I have been commission building models, and that's kind of what I'm doing to pay the bills at the moment alongside YouTube. And yeah, I didn't want the really dirty one that I had previously because I was worried I'd lose some parts. I need an assistant puppet like in the shows. I do need an assistant. That would be good, wouldn't it? Where's my pen? Go. Okay, so 5 inches. And you know what? Let's just give it the exact. So I get the 12.7. Yep, there we go. I would have just done 12 inches, so glad to see that. 12.7. Oh, but there's going to be overlap. I want to overlap this under... No, I don't. I can just put them next to each other. There's no need to overlap them, so I can literally just go 12.7. I have blacksmith fun as well. Hey. I'm speedrunning all the professions, am I? Seems reasonable to me. So if I shift across. Again, it doesn't need to be particularly precise. I just want something that I can cut down to size as needed. I'm sure I must own scissors. Nick, I am going for a... basically, I'm going for this. It'll be in 2 separate parts. I'll have that. I'll have that. They will be separate. And I will... Yeah. Be happy with my life choice. Oh, this does need to go under. I'm glad I drew this. This is 10.7 inches, and this is 5 inches. And then the angle here, there to there, is 12 inches. So, it's good. Or a glamorous assistant. Yep. Are we making the anti-Green Knight spawning Wood Elf wood? We are. We absolutely are. And Neil Buchanan is looking different to what I remember. I'll take that. You know, that's a hell of a compliment to be compared to Neil Buchanan. Oh, I haven't even cut this one out yet. My thumb is double jointed. Oh no, I don't think so. I thought you meant that it's just all fucked up. I assumed that was a thing that happens with blacksmiths. Why is blacksmith's thumb double jointed? What's that about? Is that a thing that... Is that a profession that people with double jointed thumbs are drawn to? You have an advantage in the way you hold the hammer? I'm just thinking Dr. Terrible. Hammer is my penis. Cool. Cool. Hit it with a hammer too much. Yeah, that's... It's been no jointed, or many jointed, I guess. I'm not about that. You'll send me a pic on Discord. This... Oh, concern. Okay, so... Realistically, what I want to do is be 30 centimeters or less. So here's the 30 centimeter mark, give or take. So I want to be under that. And I can go over it, as long as there's no way for the an entire 60mm base to fit on. So what I need to do is I need to sort of like weave in and out. That's what I'm thinking. Same. Everything we're doing is pretty approximate. But we'll probably sort of like wiggle in and out, so we'll go in like that a little bit, so you don't have room to fit an entire base. But I don't need to cut that. I'm just marking it, and then let's do the other one as well. That's it. 2 parts so you can move the small side left or right as needed. Yeah. That's the plan. Obviously, this is the wood that I've been playing online. I've been using, and just having the flexibility to adjust it because it's an online thing. It's really nice. So yeah, just want that for in person as well. And people then get to make 40k player jokes about me because it is it's basically an L-shaped ruin just in wood form. So draw like that, cool. And I know roughly what my guidelines are, and I can go in and out as required. I can go in and out on both sides. Okay, we've got, you know what, we've got our 2 bits of cardboard here. Let's go. Let's just start by clipping out all of the base. How many trees are there? Is there only 3? Only 3 is kind of stingy, you know? I guess I've got to put 1 on the 5-inch piece and 2 on the 10-inch piece. And then the rest of the base can be flocked and what have you. Can't believe there's only 3 trees. For some reason that feels weird. I'd have a look at the art in the box, but I just cut it up. Oh no, I didn't cut up the lid, did I? Could articulate it with butterfly pins, bend it into any contour you like. That's cool. Yeah. I do not have that equipment to hand, unfortunately. But Flexi Woods is a very cool. I mean, I'm not surprised that the man who put Arduinos in his Lizardman is coming up with cool modeling ideas. Those are great, by the way, Pip. I don't know if I said in the chat, but I really like the effect you've gone for. Of course, now that you've finished them, they will perform terribly. That is the law of the jungle. Okay, so another little bit of dump here. I feel like because there's nothing wrong competitively with rocking up with this wood. I do not think this is bad at all. And that's mostly because you need a way to not have the Green Knight just fucking ruin your day if you're playing Wood Elves. Especially now that Sisters of the Thorn are nerfed. But if I turn up with an actual wood, people are going to be way less obviously annoyed. Oh, okay, so the tree covers multiple bits of base. That's interesting. That is interesting. So for this one, I think we're looking at like this, and we're looking at this one as well. This is one of the trees. Okay, that's cool. So I just need to make it so it doesn't ever have more than 30 mil, and that's okay. I might have to adjust the angle of these, because I'll be honest, I don't love that. I'd rather have it like this, and then clip this bit off here, or cut it and then use it elsewhere, or even just take it off entirely, because I'm gonna reinforce this and then flock it, I think. Many would be annoyed at you rocking it with Wood Elves in general. I don't know if that's true now, Entropy, because Wood Elves are obviously much less good than they were. I don't know if people are going to be, you know, just straight fuming at the concept of them. Hard to be, yeah. Morning, Let's Moon. So yeah, I'm hoping anyway that people aren't too annoyed. So I think maybe I go like this for the first one, because I might actually have to trim the edges off here. Just looking at how much space this takes up, which is a good thing. And then we've got, what's the other one? So that's number 1, tree number 1. Is that all of the instructions? Or is there, am I missing something? So, so tree number 3 is this one? Question mark? No, it's definitely not this one. So it's this and a skeleton. Wait, have I picked the wrong one up? This might be tree number 3. Like so. So this one, in that case, if it's not the skeleton tree, it is this long piece. Okay, yeah, there we go. There we go. That's better. Then we've got these two, and then is there just a tree that doesn't sit on a base? Is that what's happening? Why is this so unclear? You fought newly nerfed wood elves at a funsy narrative tournament last weekend with your ogres, and it wasn't close. Just fled from the dragon and ate the rest of the army. That's where I think they're going wrong, honestly, playing a dragon. I still am a stag believer. Wood elves look like great fun, but I'm definitely not a good enough player to make them work. I think the way that I envision them working, which is avoidance shooting, is very difficult to do. Will I paint them in spring or autumn? Well, I actually did start painting them before I decided I didn't want to play them because sisters were too good. But here's a little bit of paint blocked in on a couple of models I've started. So I'm going. The plan was to go summer and then have three Sisters of the Thorn, one spring, one winter, one autumn, and have their pillars of fire be different colors. But now that's not necessary, so I shan't be doing it. Where are the corners on those bases? Oh, this is just what it came with. I'm just painting them on, you know, some spare bases. Oh no, sorry, they didn't come with this. This was just like to paint them on. Because I was thinking about doing some resin 3D printed bases, but I don't think I'm going to have time. So I want to take these to an event next weekend. Also, while we're at it, I don't know if you can see. Hold on. Direction. So you see that how the arm is a little bit grey. Not mine. It's not food. I snapped the arm off, realised I'd lost the forearm, so I had to replace it with a bit of elf lance that I'd printed. Doing a 4-season wood elf army. Yeah, cool. Lots of flowers on the bases. Yeah, I've got some fun stuff to put on there as well. Which is nice. Wood elves are pretty rare. You'll face them once every 3 or 4 events, while a third of the games are Brett's Dwarf. Is great. Yeah, I agree. I'm liking that. I feel like I'm missing a bit of base. Oh, I am missing a bit of base. I'm a muppet. I was looking at it like, I wonder why there's only 5. It feels like all of these trees need to go on, you know, 2 bits of tree. So now I need to repair them up. I also need to clean off the mold lines, but you know, that job for future me. So here we are. Let's line these up. So I think it's these 2 here. This is 1. So I think this goes on the 10 as one of the pieces. Let's just pull them in. Because that doesn't take up too much space and I can trim off the edges and then, you know, go over them. And I think if I go back to what I had, we've got a long bit here with a pile of rocks. So it's actually this one I'm looking at now. And that goes with this long straight one. So these 2 go together. That's good. And then these 2 go together in a slightly ridiculous too long fashion. That's good. That's good stuff. So let's just clean the mold lines off those. Mechanite says, you've been in trouble without stags. I really like stags. I think stags are fantastic. I'm a huge believer in the stag life. I keep seeing people say that you need a unit to bodyguard them, and I kind of feel like that's wrong. Because stags just don't die to incidental firepower. Obviously, something like dwarven iron drakes, you're in a little bit more trouble when they're wounding you on 3s and you're down to a 3-up save and they've got volume of attacks because they definitely. But yeah, as it stands, I think stags are very. You just have to use them correctly. We don't have to be particularly neat with this. I'm going to chop these up a little bit because this is going to take up more space than I have available. One of the nice things about this is because it's so 2D, there's not really any mold lines to clean off, which I do appreciate. You'd think this is crazy, but I have a captain on stag and a block of Eternal Guard every game. I don't think the stag in a unit is crazy. I think the Eternal Guard might be crazy. How are you finding them? Iron Drakes aren't incidental firepower. That's true, Liam. That is true. You mean, say stags, you mean lords and captains, and stags or wild riders? Definitely the lords and captains. I'm not a wild rider enjoyer. Definitely a character on monstrous cavalry enjoyer, though. Man, look at the progress. I remember my first hobby hangout stream. I think I built a single unit of 5 Dark Riders or something like that. Didn't do very well. It's a lot more free, I guess. They die a lot, but I have them painted from a previous edition. I refuse not to use them. That is super reasonable. I respect that. Also lines up with my expectations of them. Well, I am hungry. I did not have any breakfast. Definitely. I think I might have some biscuits. I might have a couple of biscuits in a bit. Basically carried by the captain on stag. That's very. How do you load out your captain on stag if it's going in a unit? Do you go for the -1 to hit build because the armor save is a little bit less relevant? Because you're using a great weapon anyway, I assume. All right. All of the little bits of buff rough there, which is good. So now to lay it out. The question becomes, do I could just take off 30 mil off the end, and then when I'm putting it, I don't have to overlap. I can just put them next to each other. I think that's probably the best plan. So if I just do that, if I get my pen back here, I just want to take off 30 mil. I don't want to take off this full bit of ridiculousness. Yeah, so that means that I can put this like this, or this like this next to it, and I've got the correct size on my wood. Or, actually, if I don't do that, but I put it on top, that way I can angle it like this if I ever need to. Because if I'm angling it, I'd have to put it underneath or something like that, wouldn't I? If I angle it, is there any reason to angle it? Yes. Well, I guess I could do that. Gives me more flexibility if I do it that way. No, fuck it. We're gonna cut the end off. This is fine. Great weapon, befuddlement sprites. Yeah. What armor do you equip it with? Helm of the Hunt? Or, well, probably not. You're not getting charges. So bedazzling helm. Cool. So this tree has to fit on here. I feel like this one works. Like this. I'm pretty okay with it. I think. I don't know that I need these bits to extend past, honestly, though. Could definitely chop them off. I feel bad about that. So this one feels good like so. We'll just put that to the side for now. The old razzle dazzle. Absolutely. Good use of that. Here. Fuck. I've just moved them. I can't remember which way around they are. Is this correct? So I think the curve one. Let me just double check again. So this one and this one go together. Yep, that's fine. So it must be these two. I don't feel like I need the tail. Like, look at how much space this is going to take up. It's too much. So we're going to go like this, and then I guess we're going to go like this and this. We definitely need to trim down on the plastic, and that's okay. We're going to do that. So let's start with this one. I really like kit bashing or like converting plastic kits for myself. It's something that I used to really enjoy doing, and don't really do or didn't do for a long time, especially in 40k. Because in 40k, I was 3D printing a lot of my stuff, and I haven't really got into 3D printing my own old world stuff, mostly because my printer needs fixing. But then it does open up the opportunity for this. Just cutting. What I like to do when I'm cutting around bits on a base like this, which does come up more often than, you know, it's like, oh, you know, if I had a nickel for each time I'd done it, I'd have 2 nickels. Sort of jobby. But if you follow the sculpted models, and then when you cut across, it doesn't look weird. It doesn't look like you've left a weird gaping hole. And I'm probably going to use some green stuff to like gently lower the angle, or maybe not though, because it's like this, and I could just potentially flock it. But something like that. And I'm just going to take the excess off here. I'm almost 100% going to cut my finger, my thumb, as I pull towards myself. So I will super glue it closed when I do. Just warning you ahead of time. Squeamish around blood. There may be some in the next hour and a half. Alright. And it doesn't really need to be precise or neat. This is ground covered up. Let's get it. So it's not got any obvious jagged. There we go. No armor. Opponents are having too much fun killing Eternal Guard. Fair. I mean, honestly, stacking the combat res, that might actually just be right. The Green Knight. So there won't be room, Voltron. What I'm going to do is make sure that there is at no point anywhere that a full 60 by 30 mil base can fit in. So I'm going to be under this line, which is 30 mil. And it can go, you know, it can be wavy. It can be sort of like this. But as long as there's no point where there's a full 60 by 30 mil rectangle, we're in business. That's what I'm working with. So like here, because this is thicker, what we'll do is go under it. So like we'll trim in around here, because the tree's got to go on top as well. So what I might be best off doing before I actually adjust any more is if I just cut out the trees, then I know where things, like what angle they need to go at, and that probably makes a lot of sense. So let's get clipping some tree. So this time I'm just going to do the 2 together that I want to go with. A little bit concerned about how wide the trees are. Adjust those. We'll have a look at that as we get to it. So this is A1, and I need to pair it with A2. Oh, there we go. Games Workshop sprues, and being conveniently positioned in a more iconic. Yeah, so the thickness of the tree might be a problem, because there's a real world that a Green Knight could just fit on top of where the tree is. So what I might need to do is trim the base size of the tree. Make it so it doesn't... One piece is... First one. I'm going to get it right, but also I'm going to bring the wood and tell Bretonian players, here's the wood that I've specifically made that you can't fit in. And as long as the dimensions are correct, I doubt anyone's going to be, you know, interested enough to... Sure. Yeah, that's definitely going to be... I think that's going to be too big. We just look at... So, there's the base. Oh, they're 100% going to be able to fit into that tree. How are we fixing this problem? Because this is a very wide tree. This is a very wide tree. What we could do is cut the tree off at, like, this sort of point. Hold on. Let me put it back together. Yeah, so instead of having it here, maybe just cut the tree off, like, at this sort of point here. And that would stop it from being anywhere near as wide. At which point we wouldn't necessarily need these bits. So maybe that's the approach we go with. As nice as it would be to have these. Although I could just put them on between trees and use them as bulk for scenery. Glad I didn't cut any more. Yeah, that might be the way to do things. And then we've got potential tree stumps, but we don't need any more. So if we're looking for 30 by 60, yeah, that's very comfortable. If we cut below these like mushrooms, that might be the way to go. You're skeptical how this is going to work. Entropy, have a little bit of faith. So what I need to do here is normally I'd use a pen. Pen's not going to work because it is trying to draw on plastic. So let's just grab... I normally have loads of paints on my desk, and I have had a little bit of a tidied up recently. I don't have much. I've got some contrast paint. I guess that'll do. Let's have a look. What's up, Creek Hammer? How's it going? We've hit the first snag in the tree-ness. And the snag is that the base of the tree is over the size of the Green Knight. So I'm just going to mark where I want to cut. I do have a hobby saw, and for the life of me, I could not tell you where it is. So we're just going to hack at it with clippers. And this is the main reason I'm not using my nice God-hand clippers, because I really don't want to ruin those. That would be cool. So that is the first tree. Okie dokie. Grinding it out at work. Yeah. That's working 9 till 5. What a way to make a living. So with something like this, if you're cutting through plastic, you can do sort of like angular cuts. If you just try and cut all the way, the plastic will force itself apart and you'll get like weird bending and tearing. But if you cut like, hold on, so I've cut a little V out of it, and that gives you more flexibility to get in. Because this is quite a thin bit of plastic to cut across, I don't have to do too much. So I take out a chunk there. Gives me the room to get to that angle. And then, there we go. Perfect. Perfect. The canopy might be too big now that we've gone shorter, but we can adjust the size of the canopy as well. And this one. Make sure that I have got the height right of the drawing. I absolutely have. Excellent stuff. Measure 6 times, cut once. Wood too big, what a problem to have. Yep, that is... I'm going to take that at face value. It is a problem because the Green Knight would then be able to get into the wood. And that is the only comment I have on the subject. Okay. Cut me triangle out. Oh, this is yeah, there we go. As you can tell, when I'm converting, I'm very sort of fast and loose with things. Most stuff can be fixed in post if it needs to be. But there we go. We have the first tree. Oh yeah. So just down here where I've cut, I've warped the bottom a little bit, but turn that off. And because all of this is going to be covered by flock, there's really no need to be particularly accurate. There we go. Tree numero uno. This can go like this, and it doesn't take up too much space. I'm very pleased by this. Ah, Jay. So, Jay says, have you considered making 2 different size woods? One versus Brett, one versus everyone else. This is the wood for everyone because it's going to be 30 mil. That measurement is 30 mil wide, so I'm going to be... At no point am I going to allow there to be a 30 by 60 rectangle. The way I'm doing that is I'm cutting the tree down. So we've got this tree here, which is, you know, quite thin. And I can just sort of go in and out, and I can do it in wavy lines, make it look a little bit more natural, which is great stuff. And what I've got here is I can shape it like an L. So this is going to be 10.7 inches long, including this bit. And this is 5 inches long. And that gives me a 12-inch right angle. Anthony found an 11.8-inch wooden disc at a hobby and art store. That's a good find if you're looking to just make a very typical wood. That is excellent stuff. Adding the tree cut on top. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Trim it off and get rid of these mold lines. I did put a noise gate on, but I feel like the scraping is probably going to get picked up by the microphone. I can only apologise for my... yeah, and I really don't need to be too precise with the cutting on here, because it's all knobbly and gnarled, and I feel like that just adds to the experience with a tree that's a little bit battered. To me, makes sense to a fellow like. I've been working from home last 2-3 weeks. Been listening to, like, watching a lot of sort of background noise stuff. Right, we've got to squeeze every little bit of advantage available. Yeah, I think this is the sort of thing that would be, I'm not 100% sure that I would have bothered if it wasn't for the Green Knight. Because if I bring a wood, the Green Knight's going to ruin my day. Because I want to hide behind the wood because I'm wood elves, but, you know, Green Knight's going to shit on that. Yeah, if it wasn't for the Green Knight, I don't think I'd be bothering to do this. But because of this, and I can't remember who came up with it. I know Nicholas told me about it. But yeah, it is a winning strategy. This crap. I gotta say, this is quite a nice kit. There's not a huge amount to clean off. There we go. Tree number 1 done, and we can use the bases as we like. So I'm probably not going to glue these down until I do something with them. This feels like it's probably going to be green stuff to the base, just to hold it in place. I think I've got some stuff to have. Or I might have put it in the bag where I tidied everything off too. That's okay, because this doesn't... I don't know that we're going to finish this up in 2 hours. But we can make some good progress, and maybe I finish it off next week. Maybe that's what next week's Wednesday stream is as well. So we've got tree numero uno, and in fact, let's just glue that together because I don't need to have them in separate halves. I was 31 years old first time I used Tamiya, and I gotta say, pretty damn good. It is pretty damn good. Although I did knock this bottle off, so it's looking a little bit gnarly. Pick up a new. There we go. There's a tree. It'll need branches and sundry, but we can leave that for now. Good stuff. Let's do the other 2. This is the hacking bit is the difficult bit. What's everyone up to today? I assume there's a lot of people sat at work at the is that... Oh, Oh, I see the thumb entry. I I just tabbed into Discord there. I now understand what you're talking about. No, I don't think I have that. I've just got regular thumb as what's the next? But yeah, Owl game today. Oh yeah, what are you playing into, bud? Joseph suggested it to you after he smashed you with Exiles 2 weeks before LGT, so I hurried to make one. Didn't matter because the whole Woods and Vortex thing. Yeah, that's true. That's funny. A5, A6. This is A9, A10. Here we go. 5 and 6. Richie's Dwarf List. Not played by Richie. That means it'll be a much easier game, so. You're playing Exiles, aren't you? To be fair, one of the things he has built this list to deal with is he has to have tools to be able to play into Bretonnians. I'm assuming it's the list with the big unit of Iron Drakes. I think he might have gone off War Machines. I can't remember. He wasn't impressed by the, I think it was a cannon he was running. I'm going to sit in the corner, shoot him cannons, and take the 11 or 12 point win. Yeah, that's reasonable. Almost 3 a.m. for you, can't fall asleep. Oh, well, you've got, it's not quite watching paint dry, but watching Woods build is probably on a similar sort of tier, maybe. So, this is also too big. This is definitely... So, I think if we cut again under the mushrooms... measure. Oh yeah, if I cut into the mushrooms, we're super fine. And it also gives me a little bit more height compared to the other one. Good. Is good. So here's the handy dandy purple paint, which actually worked super well. And we've got... Yeah, it is a good job that you're off today, bud, if it's 5 a.m. where you are struggling. Did they bring back the OG Citadel? I feel like I remember seeing them as a made to order or something. And they did that terrain release. Should be telling Porkies. Painting, but to be Games Workshop. What at Games Workshop events? You know, I hadn't even considered that. Here's the thing: my models very much not Games Workshop, so I don't think I'll be taking Wood Elves to the Warhammer World event. So that's not a concern for me. But yeah, I don't know. I think with the Woods, you could probably get away with bringing like some hobby shop creation. That's probably okay, but I don't know. I honestly don't know. Voltron didn't join the Owl because you didn't have time. Yeah, I did join, and then because FOMO, and then I was like, probably shouldn't have joined this with time zones. And also, there wasn't anything that I was like super passionate to play, so I've submitted a Heralds of Darkness list, which is fine, but round one played into a really lovely chap. Who it was his first Old World tournament, but he was running double dragons, and my list can't really. One I can deal with. The second one just adds too much. That was a close game until it wasn't, and it was a 4-16 loss. It's funny because I have assumed that you are someone else at Voltron. I think I've, in my head, combined you with another person who has a similar username. When you're saying that it's 3 a.m. for you, yeah, I've now realised you're not the person that I know in the UK with a similar username. Okay, there we go. There's me wood. Let's neaten that up on the bottom. It's a little bit ratty. A bit ratty. Good stuff. That's the second. US for you. What a bastard for running Double Dragon. It was Dark Elves as well. He didn't know who I was. So I wasn't like, oh, hey, you're playing my list. Because it's not exactly revolutionary thinking for me to go, hey, what if I put 2 dragons in? You know, that's not the biggest of big brains. Yeah. The rest of the list as well, to, you know, add insult to injury, was it was very sort of kitchen table Warhammer. So there was a block of spearmen, there was some crossbows, there were a couple of small units of Dark Riders. There was a unit of they called Cold One Knights, which is obviously good, unit 6, but they didn't have the banner. I did recommend that he change his list, just sort of like for future play, not for, to get the Banner of Harganeth in there. But he was a really lovely chap, so I don't really mind losing. That's what I need first before. Now they bring back kindreds because they have half the kindreds as unique stat lines. Yeah, that is the problem. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's something along those lines. No unique waste or card. I don't know. I'd love to see them bring back kindreds, especially because high elves have basically their system, which is very funny. High elves have wood elves regen item. In fact, they have all of them to the point where it's extremely common, and you can just take as many as you want. And then they also have their kindred system, and wood elves are kind of just sat going, well, what do I get? You did get Sister of the Thorn, so you weren't allowed to complain, but now you kind of are allowed to complain if you're a wood elf player, because without Sister of the Thorn, the competitive level in that book is definitely low. I don't know that it's bad. I'm not convinced that it's a bad book. We just need to see how far the pure shooting list can go. Oh, I've just realised there was a message that I read, but I didn't get around to. Someone said they were playing their Fix My List today. Who was that? Probably search in. Hey, Lex Moon. There we go. That was it. I don't know if Lex Moon's still here, but I hope it goes well with the list that you're playing. Let me know how you get on. High elves have had honors for as long as wood elves have had kindred. Pip, I don't want you to come in here and give me facts. You know, I want to be justifiably annoyed. And if you're taking the justification away, how can I be justifiably annoyed? This is shaping up. Do you remember the old Citadel woods? You know, the more straight ones, just like straight lines opposed to anything else. I remember back in the day, because part of the reason I used to do conversions was to save money. So I had a bunch of I had one kit of the Citadel woods, and I was chopping it up to make a tree man out of it, because so like I think it was like 20 odd quid for that wood, whereas a tree man was like 30 or 40 quid. Yeah, never finished it. Never finished that kit. No idea why. Put a little bit more effort in. Ah, bugger. That didn't... that'll glue together. Lovely stuff. Rip old citadel. Honors kindred's bloodlines, sacred spawnings. Sacred spawnings. There's something that I actually don't know anything about. Was that 6th edition? And it's tempted to go. Or is it 6E? 7th had spawnings as well. You could put them on Saurus characters and units. Not 12 sacred. Let's have a look at these. I'm oh, definitely perfect. Weren't impactful as chaos marks, but so sacred spawnings. Saurus warriors can take 1 or 2 blessed spawnings. Oh, but they count as special instead of 4. Cool. Then 2 count as rare. Interesting. Characters can take 2 or 3. Skinks can take 1. This is a pretty in-depth. Okay. So unit roll a D3. Oh, okay, so you get D3 rerolls per game. Interesting. Ooh, this is good. 35 points. I'd put that on a caster. Although you can't put it on a slam, so I guess you can't. Scaly skin increased by 1. Oh, on a unit? Can you repeat these? I don't think it says that you can't repeat. So I'm taking a lot of +1 to my save. +1 attack on the charge, that's pretty good. More dice to dispel pool. Yep, that makes move through cover. Extra dice when pursuing. Yeah. I don't know what the how often combats were breaking fleeing. So that might be cracked, but you can repeat them. Cool. Yeah, we're just looking at 6th edition rules because someone mentioned Sacred. It's 1 initiative. Yeah. You must take this if you ride character. Ride a Cold War. That's fair enough. Okay, those are pretty cool. I hate those. Do not hate those. Let's go. Making a wood. A tree army and a cavalry heavy wild hunt army. That's what I'm assuming. Those are the 2 that I'm assuming. Yes, I do remember that you used to be able to go deeper than a 2-up save. -1 armor save for Dark Elves. Of course, with strength adjusting AP, you got hit by a cannon, you got hit by strength big. Man, I am starving. Let's see what I got. Oh! I've opened my biscuit tin, and inside I have Bourbon creams. What a treat. All right. The noise gate is cutting my voice out when scraping. Okay, that's a bugger. I'll just delete it for now. At some point, I will set up a proper noise gate. I do need one, but yeah, Streamlabs is not super clear as to what your voice decibels are. There we go. Okay, fixed it. Thought I'd knocked my microphone there. Yeah. So that can be something that I adjust for a future stream. But for now, you can just listen to the scrapes. Listen to the scrapes. This one is... It's wider, but it's not that much wider. I wonder if... Maybe we keep this one intact. What's the dimensions of it? Not really an issue, but just saying, no, thank you, Entropy. I appreciate being let know. Okay, so that's less than 60 mil. Honestly, I think given how the rest of them have gone, I think I just want to trim the base anyway. Just to make it consistent with how the rest of the models are. Yeah. Wild Hunt, 0-1 Wild Riders and Core Glade Riders get Furious Charge. That would be interesting. Because Glade Riders with Furious Charge... Although you haven't got any good weapons. Oh, I just caught my thumb. No, we're fine. So Glade Riders only have Cav Spears. So you're talking 2 attacks at Strength 4, AP 1. Which is just not... It's not great. But I could see them going in that direction. That is something I could believe. Let's just trim this away. It's funny how much less careful I am when I'm doing my own models as opposed to commission building. Very careful to get every bit of mold line off with someone else's stuff. And then I'm doing these woods and I'm like, yeah, this'll do. Let's just take off huge chunks. It's a wood, who cares? Not me. Right, okay. So we've got this one. I guess I'm just going to take it off at the bottom here. This sort of line, I think, under these mushrooms, and just get rid of the... yeah, that makes sense. I probably don't need a marker there, but you know what? It's been working well so far, so why mess around with something that works? Draw a line once, cut twice. I wasn't happy that I only had contrast paint on my desk, and then I'm using the contrast paint, and it's working perfectly because it's more liquid, so I can just sort of bobble it across the surface, and it leaves a representative line. So that's a nice accidental thing that's happened. There we go. Is that a wood? No, it's my treekin. God, man, I hope they make Forest Spirits worth playing. They are my favourite part of Wood Elves. The elves are cool. I like the playstyle of the avoidance shooting, but trees have a special place in my heart. You might not believe it given the armies I play, but I am an anvil enjoyer. I much prefer playing slow, tanky armies, or not necessarily slow, but like beefy armies is my jam. And I played like a lot of custodies and stuff in 40k, but you have less skill expression with that sort of army, so it's hard to justify going for. Hey Richard, how you doing? Summon dryads from woods like demons. That's a cool idea. I like that, Seb. I just pinged that into my screen. I think it's okay. I can't see any visible damage, but that's... Maybe I should be a bit more careful. Great stuff. Love that. Love that for me. Ah, yes, another melee skirmish army. Yeah, but it'll be a slow melee skirmish army. And that's fine. It's the fast melee skirmish armies that are a problem. Like, does anyone really complain about Wolves of the Sea? I don't think they do. There we go. Taking the trees back. Like so. That is pretty uneven. Let's see if I can even up just a bit. I just haven't played it yet. I mean I've played against it. It's fine. I don't resent it. It's good, but I'm just gonna bring magic missiles and good ballistic skill shooting and not worry about those sorts of problems. Sounds like someone else's issue to me. There we go. Now we've got another set of trees. Let's get Adam's list is nasty. Yeah. No, I like Wolves of the Sea. I think it's a good way to play. The funny thing is, because Grand Army exists, it's kind of hard to justify playing anything else. Like, I love that Herald's list, but it's just not as good as a Lord of Chaos on a Dragon. And if you're doing that, why would you take Heralds? So, yeah. There we go. All right. Okay, so let's plan this out a little bit then. Grand Army is on borrowed time. Yeah, well, I think that, but I felt that for months. So they haven't got rid of it yet. So I think out of the three, what I want to do is I want to put the biggest one here, the smallest one here, and the mediumest one here. That makes sense to me. So we got like this, this, this. I think that's good. That's a forest that I can get behind. If they bring back Moonstone, that'd be pretty cool. What's Moonstone? Pip, there is a comic doc, and that's all I'm saying on the matter. I just don't know when the fuck they're gonna bring it out. So here we go. 35 points. Character and unit teleports. Interesting. That's cool. I think tree singing used to be better as well than what it is currently. Like, I think the timing of it was better, if I remember correctly. Or maybe I'm talking rubbish. Maybe it wasn't better. Realize that biscuits are a bad thing to have for breakfast on stream. Unbelievably crunchy. An item that gave the bear and a whole unit 5 at ward as well. Yeah, something like that's probably necessary, honestly. Tree singing, you could move existing forests. Oh, I remember that. Yeah, now it's all coming back to me now. I had the 6th edition Wood Elf book. I don't think I ever played them, but I read it a lot. I really liked that book. Okay. I think the next step is probably, do we look at putting some branches on? Is that the best course of action here? Plague spell from a Skaven. I do not. Let's have a look. Skaven. Spell list. Skaven magic. Plague. Choose one unit, friend or foe, within 18 inches. Each model in the affected unit must take a toughness test. If failed, it takes a wound suffering with no armor save. After working out the spell and removing casualties, roll a dice on a 1 to 2. The opponent then bounces it to any one unit within 6 inches if they want to. 3 to 4 ends, or 5 to 6. Oh no! So you could just decimate them. That seems pretty horrendous. I don't know about that, Super Chief. Okay, is this? These two are the same. These two are the same. Good. Chocolate-covered malted milk biscuits with my tea. Yeah, I was running a little bit late this morning in terms of getting everything set up because it took me a little longer than I wanted to get the secondary camera position correct. So I didn't get to... I haven't had my tea yet, which is heartbreaking for a fellow like me. You know, being British and all. I don't know how I'm going to cope, honestly. It's difficult. It's difficult. Don't know how I feel about these leaves. They feel kind of fake. in a way. All right. It says that there should be a couple of these. Where's the rest of them? I'm sure I only saw... Like, everything else had branches. Oh, you know what? No, I'm wrong. What the fuck? Oh, here's another one. Oh, there we go. I'm just blind. It's okay. It's okay. Don't panic. I know where my towel is. Haha. Pop culture reference. I guess it's not popular culture if it's from like 40 years ago. When was The Hitchhiker's Guide released? I think it was early 80s. My guess is the natural progression if the comic does come in as per Thranoskull's game size go up to 2.5k. I don't know. There's been some chatter about increasing game size, right? I think I quite like 2k. The games are fast. You have to make choices. You can't just have everything you want. So, yeah, I quite like the limitations of 2k. If we go up to 2.5, I think it probably changes lists. Like Monster Mash, I guess, maybe gets a bit better because you can fit more stuff in, but you can't fit, like, it doesn't open up a fourth cannon, but it does open up, like, an extra creature in your rare slot, for example. So that's maybe the direction the game heads in if we get more points available, more Monster Mash. Like, more people go, oh, I can run Double Dragon, because it's super easy to do with the extra, like, however many points in rare. Played a 500 points double tournament on Saturday. It's the best Warhammer you've played in a while. Were you playing sort of small units? Because you were very limited. I have been teaching one of my mates to play, and we've got up to... Ooh, there's a big bit of sprue. We've been playing 1250 points recently, but just like here's a cavalry unit, here's a character on a chariot or like a griffin. You know, here's a unit of infantry, here's some skirmish infantry, and just a little bit of everything. And it's been cool. It's been really fun to play. Would recommend. I do enjoy my competitive lists as well, but yeah, it's nice to have a little bit of variation in there. Look at this. We got some happy little trees. Happy little trees. You have the old Games Workshop trees and the new ones. Enough for wood on a 6x4 foot table. Haven't opened the boxes yet, but the old trees are going for £58 on eBay. That's not too bad, actually. That's honestly not too shabby. Must have spent hours on mold lines for those trees. These ones, these are the new trees. These are the, I think they're called wildwood trees. This is a really good kit. It's taken barely any cleaning at all. We're an hour 13 in. Most of the time has been cutting cardboard and then planning and cutting trees so that they're not too big, and then knocking it before it's dried and taking its leaves off. Yeah, there we go. This is taking shape in my mind. I feel comfortable saying that this is definitely going to work. Who was the non-believer? I think it was Entropy earlier. Look upon my work and despair. Ors was playing 30 Hobgobs, 10 Sneaky Gits, 6 Wolf Riders, 10 Chorfs, and 2 Hobgoblin Khans, and then your partner was 3 Ochre Bulls, 20 Noblars, 3 Mournfang, and a Bruiser. Those are interesting lists. You brought a lot of quantity over quality, right? Neither of you had a caster as well. I guess because you're capped at only a level 2, it feels like it's less worthwhile. That's cool. have a look here. Newbie question. In the old world, your army square has to cross some woods and ends up in them. I assume you have to annoyingly lift the tree terrain to do this. Has to cross some woods and ends up in them. So, it depends what you're working with. So, my local gaming shop is the TSN Arena. Rob from Squarebase venue, sorry. And he has got trees that are glued to bases, but he's got neoprene mats underneath them in the shape of the wood. So what he does is he puts the wood down on top of the neoprene mat. Then if you have to stand in the wood, but your unit tray would be on top of woods, you can just pick them up and like, okay, we've still got the marker for where the wood is. As soon as I move my unit out of here, I can put the wood back. I think that's a really good way of doing things. So I should probably, once I've done this, make a footprint marker that I can put down underneath it. That sounds like it's probably something I should do. Imagine playing Wood Elves at 2.5k or more when we're already struggling to fill up the 400-point void from losing sisters. Yeah, I mean, that's because we're going from what we had as opposed to what we didn't have. What it would do is it would make it easier to fit in Shadow Dancers to go with War Dancers, and also you could put a Waystalker or two in the list, whereas I feel like currently your character points are too squeezed to do it if you take all the things you want to take, so I think it'd be okay. You'd also maybe change the list design up a little bit if you have more points, and you take like some points in Treeman and have a bit of an anvil to protect your shooting lines. I could see that. Treeman Ancients really annoy me because they're just bad. Just being like actively bad in melee is fucking terrible. And it really annoys me. Stomps aren't enough to make up for it. 2.5k equals 2 Entrance of the God and Rare. Or 2 Steam Tanks. Yeah. Get all stanky up in this. One team had 4 wizards, though. That's pretty funny. Summoning and Warp Lightning, yeah. If I was doing 500 points, I would be tempted to have a look at Warriors of Chaos for all my casting needs. Although I guess their characters are real pricey, so maybe you want cheaper casters. But then you want someone with a signature, don't you? Difficult choices. Difficult choices. Bigger armies equals longer games. That is true. And is Rule of 3 still a thing at 2.5 or 3k? Well, Rule of 3 isn't really... It is a thing, but it's not a core rule system thing. It's a thing that people have added to the game because it is something that most Warhammer games have already. I am in favour of Rule of 3 because I have played when there is no Rule of 3 and armies look even less like armies do normally. And the reason for that is you just find the best data sheet and you take loads of them. Like back in 8th edition, there was a list that was just like 8 or 10 Tyranids, Winged Hive Tyrants or something like that. And that was like the main list. So obviously we've got character restrictions, but you'd be able to do some bullshit. Like pre-nerf, Sister the Thorn. Like, can you imagine how horrendous it would be to play against like 6 units of those? God, that would suck. Just clipping out some branches. What about goblins for casting? Itchy Nuisance is a weak cannon shot. How are you comparing Itchy Nuisance to a cannon? I think I'm a little bit confused. Okay. Chaos with Forsaken and Marauder Corn Horsemen, or Wolves of the Sea with Berserkers and Skin Wolves would be pretty brutal. Wolves of the Sea feels like that would be really good in doubles, because only half your army has to be the Wolves of the Sea, but your whole team gets the we go first. Although you are playing against two armies, like two different players have different opportunities to tool up a champion to beat you, so maybe there's something there. I don't know. Right, this is the bit that's actually going to take a lot of cleaning time. How many Empire Wizards could you fit in a list at 2k if there was no rule of 3? That feels like it could be some bullshit. Because what were you taking, like especially before the Arcane Journal, what were you taking in Empire outside of here's 3 engineers, here's 3 cannons, 2 hellblasters, and the requisite core? If you could just fill all of those core, like, remaining points with wizards, I don't know. Maybe you drop the hellblasters because, you know, more battle magic casters, more gooder. This just looks like the saddest pile of broccoli. Like, it's gone grey. It's been left out for too long. Sag. Oh, God, I need to go buy some soy sauce. I made myself a stir fry. We've got, here in the UK, one of our supermarkets called Tesco's. They do, like, a meal deal for stir fries. So you just get, like, here's some prepped veg, here's some noodles, and here's some sauce. And they're pretty okay. Had them before. But this time I had I think a chow mein sauce, and I was super underwhelmed by the flavour. It was quite watery, so for my leftovers I need to grab some soy sauce to sauce that thing up. Probably also need to eat that today, because I had it on Sunday, so I can't be leaving that for too long. Sister's Handmaiden, Dragon Prince's Eagle, plus Peg Knight's Paladin, Archer's Foot Knights. That's interesting. That is interesting. Handmaiden, Dragon Prince's Eagle. That's a very efficient 500 points of high elves there. Like, yeah, that makes sense. 2-up save Heavy Cav, I think, is going to be very difficult to deal with at 500 points. And then we've got something as efficient in core as the Handmaidens. Yeah, I get that. That makes a lot of sense, actually. You could pair that with... I'm assuming you're not allowed to duplicate factions, but you could pair that with Dark Elves and go for Banner of Harganeth Cold Ones. Dark Riders in core. Although you can't give them any of the good rules because it's not 1 per 1,000. Probably still do that. And then you go... Do you go Wizard? Maybe you go Wizard. That might be the thing. Or maybe just like a combat character. Wow. Look at all these branches. Right. Let's get to cleaning. Let's get to cleaning. What time are we on? I was going to say I might have that stir fry for lunch, but I don't really want to bother going out yet. So I might have it for dinner. So the incredibly interesting takes you come to me for. Haven't seen Voltan type in a while. Hope you've managed to get to sleep, bud. That would be ideal. God, just keep clearing my throat. and it's not clear. It was a pretty chill tournament, no real issues with what armies you could take, everyone counted as friendly. That's cool. I think you said that this was a narrative event, right? It was like a more casual... It wasn't like it was a super cutthroat one. Has anyone seen that there's another WTC announced on the WTC Discord, the one that handles 40k in Age of Sigmar? I think they do Age of Sigmar. They do at least 40k. On that Discord, they've announced that they're doing a tournament in Austria at the back end of, I want to say, July. I think it's spanning July to August. And it's going to be 5-man teams. And there's going to be no lockout for nations. Interesting that we've got this this battle for the WTC name, and I'm interested. I don't really know why WTC, which runs 8-player events for 40k, why they're doing a 5-player team for Old World. It doesn't really make much sense to me. And also not nation locking it. It seems odd. It's not, I'm not against it, but I just don't really understand it. You know? Gotta bust out your new carrying place in case you got over the holidays. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Feels like so long ago, Christmas. It's hard to remember. It's only been like 3 weeks. I feel like I've been back in the grind, as it were, pretty much forever. Oh no! Oh no! I haven't cleaned between the bloody branches. Bollocks. So the reason I want to put the leaves on now is I don't want to have issues with how it looks when I position them. Makes more sense, I think, for me to put the leaves on, then stick them on the bases and go from there. That makes sense for me. There we go. Yeah, that's. I gotta say that isn't the first penis joke, but you do acknowledge that, so you know you get the pass. That other bourbon's just staring at me, but I'm just so aware of how crunchy it is. Maybe I'll mute to eat a bourbon. That's what I'm gonna do. Alright, that's better. I've been satiated. I got a box of biscuits before Christmas. Big, like, sugar cookie style biscuits. And they're not that great. They're okay, but they're not that great. And that's what I need, because I struggle. If there's a snack there, I'm going to eat the snack. My self-control comes in not buying the chocolate or whatever. But that biscuit tin's going to last me a while, because sometimes I want something sweet and I'll have like 2 small biscuits. I'm like, that's enough for me. So the self-control comes in buying things that I don't like, I guess. Well, let's just close that off. I don't want it to go soggy. It's probably going to last me another 2 months. Where did I get the branches from? Wood is on my agenda. Well, Dave, it's the Awakened Wildwood. It's a really nice kit, actually. I'm impressed. And you shouldn't do this, I bought this at retail price for £40. which by Games Workshop standards isn't too steep, but it did feel like a lot for a bit of scenery. If you buy it from a reputable third-party source such as Element Games, link in the description, you could get it for about 34 quid, which is a lot more easy to stomach. But I was at Warhammer World in person. They had one. I was like, fuck it. It's just nice to walk out of there with something. Will I join the Fit Wargamers squad? I don't know what that is, Tizzy. You need a box of hidden sweet things somewhere in the house for a nibble a day. Yeah, that is the way to be. Gotta have if you've got the self-control to trust yourself with that. It's good to have. I don't, so I've got to. My sweet treats have to be something that I don't really like. Well, not I don't like, but it's, you know, they're not Moorish. We'll say that. I feel like I'm cutting a lot of branches out, but how many do I even need? So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, to be fair, that is a lot of branches. Good old Element. Yes, indeed. And Games Workshop get its pound of flesh from the full price metal and resin we buy. It really does. God, it does. Okay, so I'm thinking I probably want, and I know that typically you'd have bigger branches lower down, but I don't know that I want to have too big low down. What if I went like here? Oh yeah, I can mess around with that. That makes sense. Let's just start sort of noodling in, because I'm bored of cleaning off just shit. So let's go like here. Oh, is this one of those kits where I'm going to have to hold something for ages? That's upsetting. I hate that for me. God damn it. This is a super glue job. And by that, I mean I'm going to use my super glue to balance it on. Come on. Come on, you fuck. God damn it. Oh, you know what? If I hold it like that, that's not too bad. I can live with that. Yeah, RLF. That's difficult. That's like me and my partner. We don't live together at the moment, but when I move in, I think what I'm probably going to do is just keep my stuff separate, sweet-wise, and then just treat her stuff as I'm not allowed to touch it. That's probably got to be. Yeah. You're going to play your full 2K Chorfs full-time in person. First time in person. That's cool. Chorfs. I was thinking about doing Chorfs, but I feel like there's not a lot of... it kind of feels like the list is like kind of solved. There's not a huge amount of variation that you can bring. So that puts them off for me. Good morning, Tom. You just got up? I can't judge. I got up at like 11:30 yesterday. This does need a little bit more glue. Because I was pissing around with it, it's now all wobbly. Hides stuff in places. First break. Yeah, no, fair. You've been doing the work from home stuff for longer than I have. You've obviously settled into a better groove than I've managed. Yeah. Well, I can tell that story, actually. So, on Monday... What day is it? We're on Wednesday? Yeah, on Monday, I played my OWL game. But because it's like an American league, I had to start it at 11:30. So I didn't get to bed until about 3, which means... Yeah, didn't wake up until 11:30 the next day, which is not ideal when you're self-employed. Chorfs can do more than the Monster Mash at the railway. Well, you think the This is good timing because Tom's here. So, also, you think that the flying carpet is better than a monster for the source of profit? That's an interesting take. Artillery is interesting now that the poison bricks are on the scene. That's true, Pip. That is true. But I mean, like, the things that are good is the artillery and the casters, right? So if we're going like, oh, you can take them because of this, it's like, well, I was probably taking them already. You know what? I've put that branch at an angle, and I hate the angle that it's at, so we're just going to reset it there. A triple storm was lovely. Storm. Is it Storm of Ash? Is that the spell? I don't think it is. Oh. Alright, that's... I thought that the first one was glued, but it wasn't, so... Good job, me. God, this is going to take ages to put together. Just on the basis of drying. Maybe I... maybe I accept that fuck it and just whack some super glue in. Taurus, a lot of points, don't want the Sork in combat. And you don't think that the most common Chorf lists that you've seen go too heavy in the artillery. So I mean, the only Chorfs I've really played against is Tom's, and I think I've played against Ors as well. But when I've played against Tom, he's run the artillery, so that's kind of how I see the faction. The only shooting was trains in the mandatory core, guys. Oh, you say the artillery's too inconsistent. Interesting. That is interesting. Right, I think I'm going to have to put this down like so. Just balance it. I think, given how long it's taking for these to dry, I'm probably just going to sit and clip more trees. That seems like the best way to do things for now. Bloody trees. When are you next at the TSN Arena, Pip? Have you got any events coming up? Slash, are you staying in the country for the foreseeable, or have you got to go back over to Switzerland? Sweden? Oh, fuck. Whichever S country it is. Really could have done with some music for this stream, I think. I'll keep that in mind for next week. Finding copyright-free music that doesn't just immediately DMCA the stream is moderately frustrating, actually. You got the team event in April. I'm not going to that, unfortunately. I'd love to, but it's the same weekend as the Warhammer World one. It just feels more... like, I feel like I should probably go to that one, because it's going to be, in theory, the first official Games Workshop event with the new rules, so that feels like a thing that I should do from a channel perspective. Maybe make a video around it, something like that. Oh, bloody leaves. Bloody leaves! Oh, are you Swiss. Which event are you not going to, Tom? The teams one. That's a shame. That's a shame. Teams, yeah, that is. When you say there's been a terrible accident, Pip, I've just remembered the context. Are we all going to die? Is the end of the world coming? Pip has been doing work at CERN, if you remember the Large Hadron Collider that was going to end the world. I guess since the accident's happened and we're still here, we're probably okay. Making a interesting typo there, Ors. You haven't been told many details yet. Oh no. Well, I keep getting shorts for the Chernobyl TV series recommended to me. So I'm just going to assume that somehow it's a similar sort of global catastrophe. And no one's saying anything. Is it safe to say that I'll be playing Wood Elves at Saffron Fantasy Slam? Maybe. I might be, yeah. Here's the thing. You know what Lewis doesn't put on all his tables? Woods. The fuck's up with that, Lewis? I know he has themed boards, but like, come on, man. Help a Wood Elf out. What are you playing at the moment, Nick? Are you playing Wood Elf still, or are you Goblins? What's the plan? And the tables are smaller, yeah, which makes the runaway playstyle hard to deal with. I think the plan is eventually to get some bigger mats, but the problem is the cost of buying mats is actually kind of restrictive. So he's not got those to hand because he's got the ones he uses for 40k. Yeah, the boards are a little small. I hate this. I'm just immediately going back and put a bit of super glue in. I feel like some sort of like aggressive melee army would do well there. You've hidden your new map purchase from the missus. Ah, sneaky. You setting up a home terrain setup, Jordan? Oh, this works nicely. Because I've got all of the low stuff down here, and then I can have... Yeah, I like this. This is good. This is going well. I'm pleased with the direction this is going in. So if I take, I guess, I really don't want to put this one on. Let's just go smaller on this one. You put a pic on Discord? Hell yeah! I'll have a look when you do. Nicholas has been playing as Brett's. playing into Castling Dwarves and Tomb King got frustrated. Yeah, that'll happen, I guess. That will happen. Trees are taking shape. It's quite a nice shape. I do like these trees. So I think I can put a bigger one up here and not get in the way. So let's do that. Played Wood Elves at the event on Saturday. Still a big dragon believer. I just can't see it with the poison shooting. Like it doesn't make sense to me to put so many points into a package that, like, yes, you can evasive away, but I'm not sold. Still need to figure out the non-sister slots, yeah. Ah, you wanker. God damn it. This is, I guess because I've gone slightly sideways. Have you considered not being in range with a 20-inch march? What, with Wood Elves? Do you mean? Oh, what, the dragon? Yeah, but, like, if you want the dragon to do anything, it has to be in a position to be around, right? So, taking a dragon that doesn't ever even threaten combat feels terrible. Sure, but they have TMP, so... And a lot of places will play TMP as it is currently rules as written, which is a 1,000,000-mile teleport. So it's hard to... Like, that's a lot of the board that you can't be on. In fact, most of the boards you can't be on if they go central with their shooting prick. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's the play. Talk about poison spamming units as if they're everywhere. I expect to see a poison shooting brick at every 2-day event that I go to, at least one. And I'm not writing lists to try and come second. I'm writing lists to try and come first. And my list building approaches, I do not think I want to play lists where I just have an army in the meta that I can't deal with. That's not how I want to play. So I will always try and build a list where possible that's as close to like a 50-50 win rate. Obviously I want like the advantage, but I'd rather have every matchup be 50-50 than have some be like 70-30 to me and some be 30-70 to my opponent, because I'm just gonna assume that I outplay my opponent if it's a 50-50. So one of the reasons I'm not playing Heralds of Darkness in person, because there are some lists that it can't deal with, and I might bust it out at some point because it's fun, but it's just off-putting to me that sometimes you'll get a pairing like, oh, I guess I've lost this game. Well, that sucks for me. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, the events I'm aiming to go to are typically larger events. Even, like, 24 players at Rob's events, that feels like it's still enough that there's a very good risk of playing against at least one poison shooting brick. This wood is surprisingly woody. Like, I think it's because I've chopped down the trunk, but it looks to me like there's far more branch on there than there is on other woods. This is a very dense bit of greenery, which I like. I do enjoy that. Let's go with this one for here. Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't have put as many branches on and just like green stuff over some of the holes. Never mind. I haven't done, so we're here now. Nick, your own army is poison shooting. True. True. Oh, got him. How to approach the rulebook scenarios other than open battle, since a lot of tournaments are using them. I think there might be some specific scenarios coming sooner rather than later. So I might have to hold off on that one. But when the General's Handbook drops, if there were to be missions in there, it would definitely be worth me looking at those. Alright. God, that's a dense bit of greenery, isn't it? Hey, Jack, how you doing? I'm building trees. Building trees. Because I'm going to start playing Wood Elves now that they've been nerfed. So I take this one a little bit sideways, I guess. Or is it... Yeah, this feels better. Put it like this. Playing 1st of February. I should be, mate. So I bought a ticket to the event that was not this weekend just gone, but the weekend before. Or maybe it was this weekend just gone. Yeah, it was this weekend just gone. But only 2 people bought tickets, because obviously Rob's migrated across to his own payment site as opposed to using Eventbrite. So I don't think people realised there was an event on, honestly. So I asked to be moved to the 1st of February. And he hasn't confirmed. So we'll see. Man, this last piece is just not wanting to dry. It's just not got any grip because I've put it at a little bit of an angle. There we go. I can hold it like that now. Look at how dense that greenery is. Woodies. I'm thinking so. Yeah, I'm thinking of playing some Wood Elves. They're fun. You back on Empire now? I can tell, Jack. No, I think I'm gonna play Ogre Kingdoms actually. Yeah, gonna bring ogres. Shit. That's the problem. You can never, like, if you've got a YouTube channel, you can't ever surprise people with what you're bringing. Like, the first time I played against Nick, he told me he knew what my army did because he'd watched a video that I'd done explaining how it played. I'm really shooting myself in the foot. I think when this one's dried, we'll call it there. Gonna have to chase me all over with wolf hammers. Hell yeah, yeah. You probably want to put in like at least a Ruby Ring of Ruin. I still won that one. It was a close game though. It was close. Cool. I think we can just put you down here. There we go. Trees have been treed. Oh, this has been good. I think this might be... I might put this project to the side and pick it back up next week. That might be what we go with. And just continue building it next week. So next Wednesday, then I'd have Thursday, Friday to paint it. Ugh. I need to pull my finger out because I have not even built most of my models for the Wood Elves. So I might end up playing Dark Elves at this event just because I haven't got the Wood Elves ready. There'll be a ring, but not a ruby one. That is, yeah. All right. Well, it's been real. I hope you all have a good day, and I will be back with a video on Thursday. I think I'd like to put a Wood Elf battle report up, so I need to get a game in with them, because I want to test the list before I full send commit to it. I say as I'm building the trees that I've bought. So yeah, have a good afternoon, morning.